Hey everyone, welcome to Encore, and today we're going to talk about the new MAC brushes 165, 214, 226, and the new concealer brush 195. So keep watching. Okay, our next brush is the 214, and this is again from the Brunette Blonde Redhead collection, and here it is. And it's basically a flat shader brush, but it's kind of like multi-use. And one thing I like about this is that it's dense, okay, yet flat enough that you can actually use it in different purposes, okay? If you want like a smoky eye look, this is definitely going to pack a lot of colors into your lid area, okay, if you're smoking, you know, your eyeshadow. And one thing that's great is that if you use pigments or a mineral loose eyeshadow, it will actually pick up a lot of color, and then you can pack and press it in right into your lid area with like ease. It just applies on really nicely as opposed to a fluffier brush or a shader brush. And so that's one thing I like about it. And one thing too is that it's got a nice sharp oval shape to it, that this is great for like smoking out your liner, again if you're doing that smoky look, the top liner, and also if you want to apply shadow and just smoke the bottom lashes, you'll just apply it on with precision. And then the best part is, like, I think this is definitely the best brush to use if you like doing that V, that outer V, because you can apply the small of the V with precision, just like that, and then do the longer leg of the V right there, okay? And then this is definitely the brush to achieve that nice precise V to initially apply the color, and then you can use the blender brush to soften the edges and just blend that out, okay? So those are the things that you can do with the 214. Now, once again, 214, I didn't see any comparable artist brushes like from Low Cornell. But the closest brush that I've found in my collection is an Italian Badger brush, and it's this one. This is the IB110 Mini Smudger, okay? It's close. I think it's the closest that you'll probably find, and that's how they are side by side. So basically it's just Italian Badger, and this is Black Goat Hair. Alright, so there you go. I mean, I think it's the closest. Again, that's the IB110 Mini Smudger, and I can't recall where I got this from. So again, check out Coastal Scents, and if not, it's probably from Crown Brush. So check those two places for this brush. Alright, so there you go. Okay, so the next brush that we're going to talk about is the concealer brush, and this is the brush 195. And the brush 195 is Golden Taklon. And one thing that I like about this new brush is that it comes to a point. Okay, it's almost like a triangle. There's a sharp edge right here, a sharp edge right there, and just kind of like a little rounded right here. Okay, and I think that this is going to be my favorite brush for eyeshadow primer. Okay. And it just applies it on with precision, and I tried it on last night playing with it, and so far it's the best brush that I use for eyeshadow primers. And I used to use this one. This is the MAC 242, which is also Golden Taklon. Alright, and to compare that side by side, you can see that this comes to a point and it's a little wider, so it covers a bigger area. Alright. Now, one thing I like is that this brush gives a little bit more of a tension, alright, when it's pressing against your skin, and I really like that characteristic, especially if I'm going to use it for the eye area applying cream products, like either cream eyeshadow or eyeshadow primer. And I kind of like that little tension. Now, with my 242, it's got a little bit of tension, but it's still kind of soft, alright, and sometimes that's kind of like, it's harder, especially when you wanted to get an even application in the eye area. So that's why I find 165 a lot better when you are going to use this for applying cream eyeshadow or eyeshadow primer. Now, of course, this is also originally designed as a concealer brush. So when you're applying concealer in the under eye area, it's definitely ideal. It's got a nice feel to it. Any certain imperfections you want to conceal, fine lines, expression lines, this is definitely a great brush. And once again, comparing that side by side with the 242, it's got a nice point as opposed to a filbert cut right there. And then again, you know, it gives you a nice tension, which is great. So again, that's the MAC 195. Alright, so thank you so much for joining me, guys, and definitely, until next time, I'll see you guys soon. Bye!